One of the important reasons why we greet children as they are arriving to school each day is to ensure that they know how valued they are in this community and that they launch their school day on the right foot.
They meet the kids at the morning, they welcome them with whatever they're bringing. You could have this awful morning at home, which so many parents know happen all the time. And the second they walk through the door and they shake that person's hand who's the beginning, it's a clean, fresh start.
Kindness is our daily gift. That is the one role that these kids have in dealing with each other every day. And so it teaches them from the very beginning to think about what they're doing.
Beatrice is going to clerk and Anna is going to notate.
When children feel known and recognized for who they are, they're able to take the risks that are necessary for learning.
In a public school, you're being motivated by an extrinsic standard of achieving a grade, which then gives you, approval from your parents and from the community. This is not how we do it here, right? We have children who need to find the reason.
Inquiry-based learning is something we really pride ourselves on here. The content of what that's around is often driven by their own interests and their own question. And so we tend to see more of a buy-in in rigor because the interest is there.
What fuels an education is the interests, the feelings and the experiences that a student already brings, right? That it's not just a blank slate, but I think PFS meets kids where they are, finds, sees, teases out their interests and uses that, really.
It's fabulous that we don't give letter grades because children are encouraged to explore as deeply as they can without limits. And so there's not a stopping point for their learning. There's a starting point and they go as far as they can.
And so I would go back to something like a foundational experience. The writer's notebook. It's an open blank slate in English class. Almost every English class from 3rd to 8th grade spends 8 to 10 minutes with children writing freely in their notebooks. At the end of that time, many days, kids will go around and share what they wrote. So buy-in in that context is about caring about your work, because when the child reads aloud and finishes, they get a knock on the table or a snap of the fingers, and that knock or that snap, that's for the courage that they had to put themselves out there in front of the community.
Community is very important at Princeton Friends School, so much so that teachers and administrators and students are all on a first-name basis. And that is because every person who enters our doors and arrives on our campus each day is both learning and teaching. Many of our students throughout the course of their day show what they've learned by teaching their peers and asking the kinds of questions that really help their teachers to grow and extend as well.
You may have a student who's got a keen interest in one thing or another, and through just the nature of the day or something like our central study theme, which is this interdisciplinary approach to learning, that it's easy for a teacher to say, okay, take that and run with it across, math or history or whatever. So there's flexibility. I wouldn't say it's a free-for-all, but with some nurturing and some guidance, there's absolutely room for a student here to guide their own learning.
we take the time to get to know our students deeply. And as we do that, we're also able to help illuminate those gifts that each person brings and allow them the space to let them shine.
And what you end up with when they leave is students who go off to high schools, and these teachers that they have always remark about how much they care about what it is that they're learning.
You would just be amazed at the students' abilities to articulate who they are, what matters to them, what they've learned about themselves and how they learn, and what they are taking away from their years at Princeton Friends School into the next phase of their lives.
I also think that we have to remember that we're a Quaker school, and that's really important. It's just not another private school. That is, I think, at the core of who we are, and the Quaker testimonies, the spices that we call them, simplicity, peace, integrity, community, equality, and sustainability, stewardship. They're lived values here, and I think that's a main benefit here.
There's such pride in what the community has collectively accomplished in each individual child.